ರಂಜಿತಾ, ನಾ ಮಲ್ಗಿದೀನಿ ಕಣೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಓ, ನಿನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಕೇಳಿದಾರ.
Aruna, madam.
Good afternoon to all of you present here. Kindly wait for 2 minutes. As soon as sir joins the meeting, we will start. When you
I'll call Jairus.
Good afternoon, sir.
Join again, sir. Join again. Hello, you take.
Sir, shall we start, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಅಡ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಷ್ಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಸರ್. ಅಡ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಯಾಕೋ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅಜ್ಜಿ. ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ಅಡ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್. ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ ಸರ್, ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ ಸರ್. ಹಾ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಸರ್.
Sir, shall we start, sir? Gururaj, sir.
ನೋಡಿ. ಹಲೋ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ? ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Sir, 2 minutes.
How are you?
Fine, sir.
No
We are
problem.
waiting
Please,
for
I'm
Gururaj, sir.
on another call. You start. I'll be on mute. Okay.
Okay, sir. We are waiting for Gururaj, sir,
I'm
to
on video
join.
and I'm on mute. You go ahead. Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, sir.
Gururaj sir join. Welcome.
Yeah, we will start the discussion now. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. We have with us Dr. Gururaj Kajigi and our Managing Trustee Sri K. Jairaj. Welcome to both of you, sir, and all the faculties who have joined this meet. Today's meeting is on a healthy discussion towards NEP and strengthening admission for 2022-23 at MLAC. When the entire nation is focusing towards other issues like pandemic and other religious issues, we at MLAC are focused towards our NEP admissions and how to go about it. And I will just request Dr. Nanda, NEP coordinator, to start with the session. Dr. Nanda.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for this opportunity. In this connection, I would request the coordinators of Arts, Science, and Commerce to come forward and briefly present the highlights of the discussion they have had with their streams, followed by suggestions from Jairaj sir and Gururaj Kajigi sir. And then I now request Dr. Manjula, HOD of Journalism Department, to start, followed by Saraswati for Physical Sciences and Life Sciences, and it will be concluded with Professor Manjula Shekhar, HOD Department of Commerce. I request Dr. Manjula from Journalism Department to brief the discussion or highlight the discussion that you have had with your stream. Thank you, ma'am.
Nanda ma'am. Good evening to one and all present here. Am I audible?
Yes, please. You're audible.
Yes, sir. Good evening to one and all present here. We are glad and it's a privilege to have such an eminent speaker with us today. We are gathered here to discuss on how to strengthen the admissions for the second batch of NEP 22-23. I, Dr. Manjula K, representing Humanities Department. As discussed with the Humanities Departments, we are happy to inform you that English and Sociology departments are prepared and willing to introduce a new course for the second batch of NEP 22-23. As per the discussion with the language and BA departments, I take this opportunity to ask certain questions to Dr. Gururaj Karjgi, sir. I request you to give your valuable suggestions on the questions, sir. Sir, shall I continue?
Please.
Sir, first question. As an autonomous institution, do we have liberty to introduce new open electives for the next batch of NEP?
Yes, ma'am. I think as autonomous institution, we have a right to introduce new courses, new curriculum. We can do that.
Okay. Sir, instead of theory, second question, instead of theory, can we have skill-oriented workshops?
In fact, the workshops could be part of your theory because you can't have an exclusive paper for skill only. In fact, you can increase the content of skills in your content. That's all.
Sir, this question was asked because history, economics, political science, sociology, we have DSC 1 and 2 with the lengthy descriptive theory units and chapters. There is no any skill component.
Yes.
So do we have a liberty to change the NEP syllabus to curriculum to skill-oriented components?
In fact, I don't know whether you can change the whole content, ma'am. In the sense, your three, as you said, all three are long papers, long theory papers. How to include this one, skills in those subjects? You can't add another subject as a skill subject. Maybe in history itself, for example, you can use epigraphy as a skill. And political science could be a study of actual how the parliament works and all that. You can add up some skills in that. But I don't know, we can change the curriculum. Changing the whole curriculum would be quite difficult.
Okay, sir. The next question is, as an autonomous college, what is the percentage of changes to be done in the NEP syllabus?
Actually, ma'am, syllabus, NEP, content is given to you. The papers are given to us, what papers we can handle. So syllabus, I think a lot of discussion has happened in the university about what is the content of a portion for first year, second year and all that. But you have the freedom to add about 15 to 20% of it. You can modify and change it. You can do that.
Okay, sir. Sir, next question. What does the language policy say about students who have not studied any regional language?
In fact, it does not insist that we should have, but the Kannada is made compulsory now. One of as the minister has been saying, Kannada is made compulsory for first and second year students. They have to study, but there are different levels of Kannada also. Those who are learning for the first time, there's a different level of Kannada. Though of course, English can be used by everybody, but Kannada, those who want to study Kannada can study Kannada. No problem.
If NEP is aiming at uniformity, how to minimize regional and non-regional language barriers?
Yeah, in fact, it's trying to integrate everything, but the language part is a little tricky. In fact, if somebody is opting for Kannada, as I told you, ma'am, the regional bias will be there. There will be quite a few children who want to study in Kannada medium or Kannada as a language also they may be willing to study. But there may be few children coming from outside the state who do not have an access to good Kannada. They will have to study level 1 and level 2. There are different levels presented. Those who are approaching Kannada for the first time will have a simpler level. Those who want to have, those who already have some studied Kannada earlier, they can have higher one. But you can't standardize the whole thing for the whole country. Difficult.
Okay. So my last question, how to strengthen the language department admissions? For example, open elective, Sanskrit, we have only 2 students.
Oh, I agree. That's one worry that I also have about Sanskrit, because if the policy at the school level becomes different, then only you can get students for the colleges. Otherwise, if the students do not take up Sanskrit in the school level, it becomes very difficult to get students at the higher level. In fact, you know very well, some of the universities have closed down the Sanskrit departments in the university. They have closed the departments because for want of students. The one thing is we can see some schools which have got Sanskrit and try to motivate them to join us. But that is the problem we have with, in fact, it has gone to the court. It has gone to the court about the policy of insisting that Kannada should be given as compulsory subject for colleges. That will have a spiraling effect on the schools also. If Sanskrit is not there for the college, why will I take it in the school? That will be a little more effect. I mean, that will affect the Sanskrit department a little more. But regarding other languages, man, I think something has to be done about communicative skills of languages. For example, there is a program which I have done earlier called ELIP, English Language Improvement Program. Many of our students, they say they know English, but their English is bad. They have to improve their English. So for that, you can have special courses on communicative English for the student. That could be an attraction for them. And I know some combinations like English, journalism, and psychology. I'm sure you have the combination of that. You have that combination, man? In the school?
We have journalism, psychology, and sociology, sir.
Okay. I was thinking English, psychology, and journalism is a beautiful combination. And
yes, sir.
There's
we
one
have a proposal from English department to introduce an optional English for the upcoming batch of NEP.
Yeah. In fact, that combination is very popular in other colleges, as you know. English, psychology, journalism is a very popular combination. And one subject supporting the other subject is very useful. Yes. Psychology supports English, English supports journalism and all that. That can be tried in our college also, ma'am. That combination can be tried.
Exactly, sir. Thank you for your suggestion, sir. Yes, sir. We are planning to introduce optional English. Next batch, we will be introducing English with psychology and journalism, sir.
Yeah, that's a very good combination.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable suggestions. Now, I request Dr. Saraswati ma'am to take over. Saraswati ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Manjula ma'am. I hope I'm audible, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good evening to everyone. Sir, I'd take this opportunity to place before you some of the concerns which have been shared by the science departments. First and foremost, with basic sciences, the concern is that the basic sciences no longer have an attraction for students. So we are seeing a trend of declining admissions there. So how can we improve that in the context of the NEP?
Yeah, it's a lovely question, but it doesn't happen all of a sudden, ma'am. It takes time, because what is happening in the school level manifests in the college level. The school level also, the teaching of science is so religiously done and ritualistically done rather than exciting subject. But in the colleges, you can make the science program very exciting by including more of practical component in that, ma'am. In fact, I was telling, supposing you have your science student, you have got chemistry labs with you, biology labs with you. Can we take some social projects? For example, we had tried earlier, when I was the principal of EVS, we tried the analysis of water, drinking water. It's a project. And we gave a report to the government that the quality of water is poor, 54% is contaminated and all that. And that became a good thing, and Department of Science and Technology gave us 1 lakh rupees. I'm talking of 89, 90. Similarly, practical problems can be taken, ma'am. Practical solutions like the planting of trees on the roadside. What kind of trees can be planted is one area we can take it. Or the chemistry students can take up a project of the pollution that's available in Malleshwaram area. Malleshwaram 18 Cross is a very crowded area. There are, in fact, if Department of Pollution Control Board, they'll give you some equipments. You can measure at different points of time and see to what extent our ears can take, what decibels it can take. or what is the particulate matter that we can tolerate. Make a paper publication on that. Slowly and slowly, I would like to see more papers, newspapers covering research is done by the MLA college students. Supposing it comes in the paper, the MLA college students say the decibel levels are so high, it can lead to your permanent hearing impairment. Or talking about the particulate matter available in the atmosphere, the nitrogen content is so high, whatever. Our students can write papers on that in local papers also, and then publish papers in journals. At least those students become nucleus of some very active research. That will trigger excitement in the school, excitement in the college. And slowly, of course, apart from that, we should take them to some, for example, I can arrange for it, ma'am. Dr. C.N. Rao's institute here, very close to us. He allows students to come and work there for some time. Supposing 10 of our students go there to JNC, ASR, work with them for some time. They have to rub shoulders with the best brains in the science field. That is bioengineering there. All fields are there. If they can go and get exposure, the word of mouth will spread that this college gives you more practical information. That will attract more students. This will not happen overnight, but the effort has to be on, and next 2-3 years, we see the results of that.
Okay. So my next question is again with regard to this practical aspect. So what is the what is the level of autonomy that an autonomous college will have in designing the skill component? Because for the first 2 semesters, the entire syllabus was given by the university.
Yes.
So what level of autonomy do we have with respect to skill components? And secondly, like if we have a bouquet of courses, skill courses, that is in the science papers, where we have skills which are course offered by the university versus a skill course which is developed and offered by MLAC. How can we encourage students to choose, the alternative courses also? Because they may have the feeling that, whatever the university has designed, that is probably better. They may have that feeling. So how do we handle that?
But actually what I suggest is you can have value-added courses. The university will not stop you from doing more. They may not allow you to do less than that, but activities they don't mind, they don't stop you. We can create more. I would suggest don't make it so ambitious so that it becomes too heavy for the children to manage. At least 50, as I mentioned about the other department, language department, 15 to 20% you can have freedom in doing it. Definitely you can do that.
Sir, can an additional skill paper be introduced apart from what is given by the university? Can an additional paper be introduced?
You can do that. Your own course, and that will not be examined by the university. You can conduct your own examination and do it. This is the value-added program. I tell you a simple example, ma'am, which may be useful to you. The B.Ed colleges I'm associated with, quite a few B.Ed colleges I'm associated with. They have a B.Ed program, 2 years program. I added a new component called as Diploma in Creative Teaching. Very interesting happened. Imagine 2 students going for the interview after B.Ed. Both of them have the B.Ed certificate. One student has a Diploma in Creative Teaching. Invariably, the interview board will ask about B.Ed, we know. What have you done more? And I have seen this happening 90% of the time. The students who have done Diploma in Creative Teaching got jobs ahead of others. The reason is that they have studied little more. Similarly, I would request you add a value-added course. It may not be part of university, but definitely recommend one course which will make our students better. You can do that. And that will be evaluated by the teachers only. It will not be by the Bangalore University.
Sir, then there is one more aspect which was observed during the admissions process, that students had they were hesitant about choosing the core courses because since now we don't have combinations, and they have to choose their own courses. There was hesitancy and confusion observed. So here, how can we help students make their choice? We cannot impose a choice also on them. So how do we help students?
I would suggest one thing, man. Please make a PowerPoint presentation about what are the career options available after the study of a degree program. For this subject, if you take this subject, these are the career options. If you take this subject, these are the career options. Supposing I make all career options available, depending on the subjects you are offering, then it is easy for them, because most of the children do not know, ma'am. Most children do not know where they are going. In fact, I have seen final year students, if you ask them, what are you going to do now? They say, I have to decide yet, sir. After the exam, I'll decide. How can they decide after final year degree? So therefore, when they join first year degree, we shall present them a view of where the career would lead them. What are the possible careers in each of the subjects? If you take this subject, if this core group you take it, these are the options you have. If you give them, then they'll be perhaps excited. And give them examples of how there have been successful cases, people who have succeeded in life using these subjects. That perhaps will be useful. And I have a small request to make, ma'am. When you are talking to the students about career options and talking to them, instead of staff members presenting, I would request you to select some students of, hello, can you mute it yourself? I would suggest one thing. Can you select some bright girls from second and third year to make this PowerPoint presentation, make a presentation? Because when teachers make presentation, students will accept it. But when students make it, they discuss, argue, check up all that. And secondly, it also gives a very good presentation about the college. And that will also help in admission. I tried that in Jain College. And instead of teachers doing counseling for the students, the senior boys and girls did it. It was really beautiful because these children talk as if it's my college. These are the options. They talk so much of pride. That will perhaps help more. Make a presentation, madam, about career options.
Sir, now in the subsequent years of the NEP, like what level of autonomy will be available for institutions like ours for designing the syllabus? Because as of now, as I mentioned, the university is giving the syllabus.
Yes. But my feeling, madam, if you maximum about 4 to 5 years, slowly and slowly the autonomy will shift to colleges. Now, as you know, in NEP, the plan is that university will stop the affiliation system as it is will do. And second, each college will be encouraged to become completely autonomous. Autonomous and finally go to a stage of starting your own university. That is the idea of the NEP. So therefore, in 5 years' time, ma'am, take it from me, you'll be designing your own curriculum.
Okay. Thank you, sir, very much for your valuable input. I
you,
now request Dr. Manjula Shekhar to take over.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, and good evening to everybody. I think I'm audible.
Audible, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening, sir. So, I'm speaking on behalf of the Commerce and Management Studies. So, we are working on courses with industry integration presently and working towards that as well in the future, and the course content with skill focus. Now, I'm presenting the collective opinion of all the staff members and seeking your views on this, sir. We are having a matrix, getting prepared to get the course started. But there are 3 facets that I personally felt that I wanted to, share it with you. When we talk about the admission process in the institution as such, and the Department of Management and Commerce in specific, I think the focus on digital learning environment is a present requirement, we personally feel, because it is more on digital learning and teaching rather than the technology with components of commerce, which has many components of digital aspect. So the digital curriculum with LMS, which is coming up in the institution, concentrating on the 21st century graduate attributes, making them global ready. Then mobile devices for our students, sir, it's very important, we feel today, because students are getting into the online mode. So the laptop or the tablet, if we can get the students that facility with that battery of 6 hours of life, and then our teaching becoming blended more, so that we resolve the infrastructure issues where we have 70% of classroom and 20% of flipped learning and 10% of self-learning. So this is from the academic teaching learning aspect. Then from the marketing facet, I was thinking that, we could have more focus on the social media marketing to create brand awareness. It is happening, not denying the fact, a little more focus. And the last, very importantly, the financial facet, where our students come from that kind of a background, they're finding it difficult to get their fees, being paid. If we could look for more, approach companies for scholarship and decide on the scholarship, how we have to go about with the committee of the college. I wanted views of yours, sir. Thank you.
It's good. Very good effort, man. Very good effort. But I will also suggest something, ma'am. As a
Yes,
practical training, you can do that. As a practical training, because we have got a paper called Banking Theory and Practice.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
But many students do not know how to encash a check in the bank. I have seen that myself. They study a lot, they get 80% marks, but they do not know how the bank really works. Or we talk about joint stock company, but we do not know how the joint stock company works. What do you mean by share? What is equity? All of us theoretically give definitions and do that, but practically handling is difficult. I tried a small experiment when we tried here. I started a bank in the college, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I started a bank in the college that anybody can open an account with 5 rupees and passbooks are made, delivery challens are made. Students pay the fees also, tuition fees also through the bank, and it can be done. So practical experience will be there for this. We select about 5 students per week. One will be manager, ledger keeper, accountant, and clerk, and all that. And they'll do everything that a regular bank should do. And we have printed the delivery challenge, all kinds of things, pay-in slips. And even fees can be paid by demand draft. It can be done. Some practical experience for them. Or I would suggest you can have a mock, this one, joint stock.
Stop. Yes, sir. Yes.
In fact, your student, in fact, one of the first lady for Bangalore Stock Exchange, one lady became the president of the Bangalore Stock Exchange, Mahalakshmi.
And she's your student, sir. I know that. Yes.
Yeah, and she was a student of mine. And she said, "It's
Yes,
not
sir,
the first time I'm doing because I did this one in my college." So I was so gratified. Similarly, can we try something like that? And another one, madam, another one, I am requesting the entire MLAC team to focus on something called Earn While You Learn scheme.
Yes.
There are many children in the college, you will know very well. They find it even difficult to pay the tuition fees. They find it difficult to pay tuition fees. Many parents will have problems. Supposing you have some Earn While You Learn program, very simple programs. I can give one example. You have got a computer lab. And after some time, 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, the computer lab is not used. Supposing you ask your students, some of them are willing to do DTP work. There are so many printing presses in my Malaysia. Somebody can make an effort to call them and say, do you require composing? They pay about 25 to 30 rupees per page of composing. And they will gladly do it because they don't get people to compose. And you've got 30 computers, divide the pages, give 4 pages to each. You can compose about 200 pages a day. Any printing press will be glad to have this. And they will pay you money. If student can compose about 4 pages a day, she gets about 100 rupees every day. So she can earn about 3,000 rupees per month if she wants to spend 45 minutes to 1 hour per day. She can earn money. So there are so many options like that. Can we explore all that? So it helps in 2 ways. The child can, after complete degree, she can have her own. In fact, many of my students have owned their DTP centers now. They do that. Or it could also be that she supports her family in that and gets another skill. Can we try some of these activities, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we are coming up with the proposal of e-business lab for us because of the students coming more in number and making our curriculum more, specific, digital and industry ready. Thanks, sir. Thanks so much for the inputs. Noted, and I will revert back with the same, sir, with my plan with you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. I would like to ask 3 questions, sir.
Yes,
from the infrastructure point of view, from the college. So with respect to languages, since our college is autonomous, under NEP, can we make one textbook common for all streams so that we can, to some extent, get away with our infrastructure constraints? Because we are autonomous. Previously, we were doing this, but NEP said, textbooks different for different streams. Now under, can we go back again because we are autonomous?
No, but we have to take the permission of the university before you do that. Though the autonomy is there, but they have given you the textbooks. They have recommended textbooks. When they have recommended textbook, because they conduct examinations also on those textbooks. Therefore, we should consult, they tell the university, we are going to recommend one book, please approve of it. That will be possible. Okay. Only after the approval of the university, you can do it.
Okay, sir. So the next question is, Dr. Manjula from Humanities, she was asking about this economic, sociology, political science, history, where they do not have practical paper. Now they have 2 theory papers. First semester will have 2 theory papers, second semester will have 2 theory papers, 2 economics paper, 2 sociology paper, 2 political science and 2 history. And both the papers are very lengthy papers where their counterparts, wherever there is practicals in the subjects, they have only one paper. The other paper will be the practical aspect. That is what she wanted to know. If in the 2 paper, can one paper be whatever is recommended from the university? Can the other paper be made little light for the students, because both are heavy?
I know, madam, I know. It can be done. Again, I told you, madam, because the first year that the NEP is being implemented in Karnataka, there is a lot of fluid thought. Nobody is very clear about it. But I would suggest one thing, ma'am. You can make a suggestion. I have one theory paper and one slightly practically oriented paper, and make a presentation to the Bangalore University. Give it to them. They will approve and give you. Because without their approval, if you do it, they say, we don't know, we have examination pattern is different and all that. If you see carefully, in the first year of NEP that government has started now, without much preparation, what will happen is, as many of our colleagues have been asking more questions, we have more questions than answers.
Yes, sir.
And then suddenly they will say, no, you have got autonomy. We can argue both ways. Say you have got autonomy, you can do anything, but they will not permit you to do it, saying that, no, this is not, the examination cannot be conducted for these papers. To be safer side, you make a small proposal, ma'am. This theory paper, and this is the small thing we are adding it, permit us to do it. Give it to them, they'll permit, and you can do it on your own. No problem. But without permission, please don't do it, ma'am, because they will create some problem later on.
Okay.
Suppose this will not be valued, this will not be examined and all that, students will be in difficulty.
Okay. Sir, the third question is, I happened to, got an opportunity to talk to Higher Education Minister the other day. He was asking about our NEP implementation at our college, if we are facing any problem. I told him we are facing only the infrastructure problem, especially with respect to the open electives. We have given a wide choice of open electives. Students are allowed to choose on their own. As Dr. Manjula expressed, in some subjects, we have only 2 students. So even Minister was telling, why do you give so many choices to the students? You can reduce the number of choices so that, the students are equally spread, and even we can, do away with our infrastructure problem. So can we do this?
Actually, I am also of the same opinion, ma'am. Okay. Instead of offering about 20 courses, offer good 1, 6 courses, 7 courses, solid courses, very good courses. So therefore, you can really focus your energy on small area and do better, rather than dissipating energy in about 20 areas. But also you should see that should not affect the career of teachers. Because when you decide to close down, reduce the number of sections, number of subjects and all that, you should not affect the careers of teachers. You should plan it before. Which are the subjects which are in great demand now? Which are the subjects which are in great demand? Think of that and work around that. For example, journalism, psychology, English, I mentioned.
Yes, sir.
I would suggest one thing. Political science, you can add international relationship in that. Political science is a paper. And see the NEP, there could be a subject on international relationship. A bright student in political science will be more gratified with that subject rather than only pure political science. So therefore, keep the number of options not very high. Good appropriate combinations, small numbers, but focus on that. Instead of having too many combinations where students get distributed and no combination will have more number of students. That's the worry. I agree with what Ashwath Narayana mentioned.
Yes, sir. He was also telling, why do you offer and give the choice and you are inviting more problem? And for example, see, sir, languages as such, they're studying it as a language. Again, offering an open elective, he was also telling you should not be offering like that. I said, once again, we have to look into the number of students taking that option. But 2 students taking 1 open elective, I don't think it is very, but NEP says even if there is 1 student, you have to offer.
But I agree.
That becomes so debatable.
But NEP may say, but the problem is for 2 students, you have to have a teacher.
Yes, sir.
And that becomes economically not viable. Economically not viable. Academically one part, economically is another part. Yes, so we have to have understanding between the 2.
And we have a third constraint is our infrastructure. We should also look into
that. Yes, correct, man. In the limited space, you can't have too many combinations. Yes, ma'am.
I had only 3 questions and I got clarity for all the 3. Now we have our controller of examination. She has 2 questions, sir.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Good evening, sir, and good evening to all.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening,
So
ma'am.
from the examination evaluation front, under this NEP, the distribution of marks matrix is 40:60. 40 for continuous assessment and 60 for the end semester examination.
Yes.
And again, the distribution of marks as released by the VCU website is this 40 marks, 20 marks, the cumulative account of 2 internal assessment tests that is conducted, 10 marks for the assignment and 10 marks for the seminar. Now, our point of concern here is when we insist the students all about attendance, and we say if the student possesses 75% of attendance, only then they are eligible to take up the examination. And when we reflect 5 marks out of this internal assessment in the non-NEP pattern, exclusively for this attendance, in NEP, when marks are not assigned for attendance, I don't know how the students will take up the attendance part seriously. And one more thing is here, exercising our powers of autonomy. Can we have the distribution of this 40 marks as 20 cumulative account of 2 tests, 5 for attendance, 10 for assignment, and 5 for seminar?
No, I don't think university will permit that, ma'am. There is the pattern they have fixed up for all the colleges. And again, I tell you, madam, very simple. University is also not very clear about it. Let me tell you. What I should say is, you make a small proposal like that. This is what we want to propose. This is the combination. We want to split this 40% like this and send it to university. They will approve it. Take their approval and then do it, madam. Because yes, autonomy is there, but this is a very peculiar autonomy that we have. It's a conditional autonomy that we have. That means you are allowed to swim with your legs tied. You're allowed to swim with your legs tied. Therefore, before jumping into water, we should see whether our legs are free. It's the best thing, man. Make a proposal that yes, this is the pattern approved by the university. This is what we want to propose in an autonomous college. Kindly accept and send it. Take their acceptance and do it. Otherwise, till that happens, we have to follow what is given by the university.
So my next question is, now for the 60 marks paper, the duration that is allotted is 2 hours.
Yes.
2 hours for 60 marks. Previously for 70 marks in non-NEP, it was for 3 hours of duration. Yes. So now when there are some numerical subjects, so assigning 2 hours for the 60 marks, some of the departments have expressed concern that the students may not be able to finish the paper on time. And so there's going to be a disparity between the numerical subjects and non-numerical subjects. And this point is under debate in even among the principals of the university colleges. So can we make it uniform and say it conduct it for 2.5 hours? Do we have the autonomy to?
That you can do, madam. There's no problem. You can give a justification that the 60 marks does not qualify for 2-hour test. It has to be 2.5 hours test. And you can make a resolution and do it, madam. There's no problem. Extending time is not a problem. You can, instead of 2 hours, you can make it 2.5 hours and definitely make it. No problem. You can do that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Nanda, you have any questions?
I'm so happy that in the very first year, there are a lot of questions in the minds of all the people in the university. I'm happy not many questions are here. I'm so happy about it. Not many questions are here. Normally, at least I have at least several questions about NEP. A lot of worries I have got about NEP because we have implemented them without much planning. We have just implemented it. In fact, to think of a course, as Madam Saraswati was mentioning and Manjula was mentioning, to plan a course is not so easy, ma'am. To include a new curriculum is so difficult. The curriculum is not just syllabus, it's syllabus plus all activities you have to think of. But anyway, we have implemented NEP this year. This is all going to be slowly year of adjustment. It takes at least about 3 years for us to understand what NEP is all about and to also know what is the limit to which you can take our autonomy to. What is the extent of autonomy the colleges have? Is it only academic the autonomy or administrative autonomy? That has to be clarified. That's what I requested. Any changes to be made, just write to the university, get the approval and then do it, rather than simply doing it and then putting the students into some difficulty later.
Yes, sir. In this connection, I would like to add, sir,
Yes,
that when we are revising our syllabus, we felt like we should have a committee to monitor that or give suggestions to modify that if necessary. What is your suggestion, sir?
yeah, absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. They're very much required. In
Thank
fact, if you have a committee of 3-4 people, it's always good. 4 brains put together is much better than one, especially about languages, which to choose, which not to choose, and what is the purpose of doing it, and is it age appropriate, is it intellectual appropriate? So, for example, grade appropriate. A student in the first year degree, what the child should study, what should study in the final year, that has to be really seriously analyzed, because I know how to design curriculum is not so easy. So best thing is, when for each subject we can have a small group of 3-4 people, invite from other colleges and maybe retired professors from the university. They can be involved together to design a curriculum. Because once you implement it, ma'am, every year you can make small modification here and there, but you can't make a quantum jump. So therefore, think properly, have a group of people to brainstorm this and then do it.
Sir, we have our PUC principal, Professor Sarita. Sarita, you had one question. Can you ask, sir?
Yes, Sarita, ma'am.
Sarita?
Sarita, ma'am is there on the line.
Yeah, she is there, sir.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah, yes, you're audible.
Yes, yes. No.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Because I belong to the PU, and as PU principal, my concern is our survival itself. But after all this discussion, one question which comes to my mind is, can the college and the management help us out in bringing about new courses which will help the degree admissions too, so that we both can work together?
That's fine, madam. I'll answer your first question, that is about the survival of the PUC sections. Don't worry about it. Nothing will happen to PUC sections overnight. Nothing will happen. Because by the time the rearrangement happens, and then which section to go to which college, which school they have to go, it becomes part of 11th and 12th. It will go on, but it will not hurt immediately. There's nothing to worry about it immediately. And secondly, I was telling about the subjects that will be useful to the degree college.
Yes.
Unfortunately, what is happening in PUC, we are into some kind of a rat race. So everybody is keen on sending students to engineering and medicine, nowhere else. That will not help our degree college in any way.
Okay.
PUC college to create some subjects like commerce, accountancy. You have got PUC commerce already. Think of science also, basic sciences. That's what I'm mentioning. If you want, I can help you. Take some students to at least some students who IISc or this one CNR Rao Institute. Somebody can be stimulated to take basic science. Tell them this is good. And another option now is, you can, again, madam, PUC, I would request you to conduct a career option program for them. They don't know what are the careers available to them. Tell them teaching is a lovely career today. If they want to do their B.Ed and become a teacher, today, a principal of a, I don't think any, of course, aided college principals may get more, but any college principal will not get as much salary as a good school principal. A good school, CBSE school principal can get about 1.5 to 2 lakhs rupees easily. So tell the student that teaching is also a career option. Then being a scientist is a career option. So if you do that, at least you'll be stimulating some students to take basic science. Same thing about literature. Many people say, what is the use of BA? BA has no future and all that. No, it's not so. Radhakrishnan was a BA. In fact, even Sir C.V. Raman was a BA honors in physics. So therefore, let us start stimulating them there only in the PUC level, telling them that career options are not only with medical and engineering, there are better career options in this. For example, I don't know, many students do not know how much of option they have got in gemology. They have not even heard of it. I know the courses in Surat and Mumbai and Delhi, 3-year program in gemology. So the basic salary, madam, after the student completes a 3-year program in gemology, the basic salary itself is about 1.5 lakhs, minimum salary, which no IT fellow can get it. That I would request you to do that. educate the children and the parents together. But why I'm saying parents also is, unfortunately in India, even now at this college level, admissions are decided by the parents, not by the children. Unfortunately, some children can definitely do it, but quite a few parents dominate the children, say, take this combination, good for you. So if you can do the sessions of career options to parents and children together, that would help us in degree college.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable suggestions, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Shashika, ma'am?
Yes, Sarita. Okay.
Yes.
I think Dr. Kushalata has raised your hand. By mistake. Okay. I think when we go deep into NEP, we will have even more questions, sir. Now we have gone only into the first semester. We have this many.
Yes. As you go along, ma'am, as you go along, we'll understand it better. We understand its strength and also areas of concern. We have to pack up the concerns, and all the effort is about augmenting our strength and making our weaknesses irrelevant. We'll do that.
Yeah, and one more thing, I was talking to some of the science teachers and commerce. They were all telling we will introduce MOOC courses when the students come to the third semester, that is second year.
Yes,
we should start working on that and introduce more of MOOC courses to increase the credits.
And I would also request you, madam, when you're doing counseling, one teacher doing counseling is fine. I would like to make it still more attractive. Call people from that branch itself. Supposing, for example, I give an idea. Forensic science is one of the beautiful topics. In fact, basic science is useful in getting forensic science. Call the director of forensic science laboratory here in Bangalore only. Let him talk about it. Or call an IPS officer. He can talk about career options in police. IAS is another option. You have got so many students of yours, some may be IAS officers already. Call them to address the students about career as an IAS officer. Unless you put role models before them, they'll not be attracted, ma'am. So suddenly they feel this is good. In fact, I would request you to call one excellent dancer in the area. Dancing is a career. Singing is a career. Sangeeta Katti, you can call her and say how she's making career with only singing. So if you show them about 10 areas of prosperous growth, maybe they'll be interested in doing that. I had to do that now, changing the direction of the children thinking. What is the degree used? No. After degree, there are plenty of, for example, Sangeeta Katti is a MSc chemistry student. So now she's going to singing, and now she makes a career in singing. So we can invite some people. I would suggest one program called Achievers Meet. We just call Achievers Meet. Call outstanding people in different walks of life who have done something good. For example, Ravi Chandannavar is a very popular IPS officer. He is a friend of mine. I can ask him to come anytime to the college. Let him come and give a talk about. He's a very motivation speaker. He talks about police as a career, something like that. That will perhaps trigger interest in the students. I see the 3 hands raised. Dr. Rajendra Bhatt. Dr. Rajendra, any questions?
You should sir, you have to unmute, sir. Rajendra Bhatt, sir, you have to unmute.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, namaskara, sir.
Namaskara, sir.
Sir, actually, ನಾನು ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಗಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ MLA ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಮಂಜುಳಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೂ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಬ್ರು ಇಬ್ರು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, 5-6 ಮಂದಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನಮಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದ್ ರೀತಿ ಇರಿಸುಮುರುಸು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಅನ್ನೋದೊಂದು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದೊಂದು, ಎರಡು ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಅನ್ಸತ್ತೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯವನ್ನ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ. ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಅಂತ ಓದೋಕ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ 2 ರೀತಿ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ ಇದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು ಓದುವವರು, ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಓದುವವರು ಅಂತ 2 ರೀತಿ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ನಾವು. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಭಾಷೆನ ಓದೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಬಂದವರು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತವನ್ನ ಇವಾಗ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡೋದು ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಮೇ ಬಿ ಇವಾಗ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಲಿಟರೇಚರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಗೋತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಈಸಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಓದೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೊದಲೇ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ.
Hello, Dr. Rajendra, I'm not able.
ಹಲೋ
Yes, sir. Hello.
ಹಲೋ ಸರ್.
Yes, sir. I lost most of your talk. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೇನು.
ಸಾರಿ.
Yes, sir.
ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತನಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ತರ ನಾವು ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಇವಾಗ. ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ನ ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಿದೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಇಸ್ ದರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೈಯರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಿದೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ಉದ್ದೇಶ. ಬಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರವನ್ನ ಪುರಾಣವನ್ನ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂತ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಟಫ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅದು ಟಫ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲಿಟರೇಚರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆಕ್ಯುಪೈ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಲಿಟರೇಚರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಗೋತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ವ್ಯಾಕರಣ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಜ್ಯೋತಿಷ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನೇ ಇಟ್ಟರು ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ನನ್ನ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿಕೊಡೋದು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಓದ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೊದಲಿಂದ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, PUC ಇದರಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತವನ್ನ ಲಿಟರೇಚರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೇಗಿದೆಯೋ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡೋದು. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇವಾಗ ತಮಿಳ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ತಮಿಳ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿರುವಾಗ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಿಂದಿ ಓದಕ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂದಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಪೇಪರ್ ಹಿಂದಿಲಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ನ ಹೊಸದಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನು ಫುಲ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಸಲ್ಲದವರು ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಸಲ್ಲದವರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇವಾಗ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ದೇವನಾಗರಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಓದಕ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಡು ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಕಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತದವ್ರು ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾನ್ ಹೇಳೋದೇನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದವರು ಯಾರು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಕಲಿಯೋಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ಬಹುದು, ಅಥವಾ ಹಿಂದಿ ಬರದೇ ಇರಬಹುದು ಅಂತವರಿಗೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಕನ್ನಡದವರೇ ಕೆಲವರು ಯಾರೊಬ್ರು ಓದ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಭಾಷೆನ ಓದುವವರಿಗೆ ಭಾಷೆ ಒಂದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಮೊದಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿರೋರಿಗೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ರೀತಿ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣವನ್ನ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಅನುಕೂಲತೆ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಅವರನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತಾ ಏನು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ವಿಲ್ ದಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಅಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಅಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಬಟ್ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ. ಇಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಇಂದಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಕೂಲಿನ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಈಗ. ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ PUC ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಬೇಡ ಅನ್ನೋ ತರ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಈಗ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿಂದ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯ ಅದು.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ಅದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆ ಸರ್, ಅದು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಗೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು.
ಅದು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಉಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಗಣಪತಿ ಭಟ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಇದು ಹೀಗೆ ಉಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಉಳಿಯಲ್ಲ, ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟೇ ಉಳಿಯಲ್ಲ. ದ ವೇ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡ್ರೈವಿಂಗ್ ನಾವು ವೆರಿ ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್, ಅದು ಹಾಗಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳುದು ಸರ್, ಈಗ ನೀವು ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಅದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ. ಕೆಲವು ಕಡೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಕೆಲವು ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು, ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಕೆಲವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಮಂತ್ರ ಹೇಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಹುಡುಗರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಸ್ತೋತ್ರ ಹೇಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಸ್ತೋತ್ರ ಹೇಳಿಸಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ರಘುವಂಶದಿಂದ ತಗೊಂಡದ್ದು, ಇದು ಕಾಳಿದಾಸನ್ ತಗೊಂಡದ್ದು, ಇದು ಭೌಭೂತಿ ತಗೊಂಡದ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದೊಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸುಭಾಷಿತಗಳು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಸುಭಾಷಿತಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಈ ಸುಭಾಷಿತ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಬಂದದ್ದು ವಾಲ್ಮೀಕಿ ರಾಮಾಯಣದಿಂದ ಬಂದದ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಹುಡ್ಸೋಕ್ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದಂಗೆ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇದೆ. ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೌ ಟು ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮೋರ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಕೋರ್ಸ್. ಅದು ತಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಕೆ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದಂಗೆ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡಿ, ಅವ್ರು ಅಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಮಾಡಿಸಬಹುದಲ್ಲ ಸರ್? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ರೀತಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದೇ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಕ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕೊಂಡು ಬಿದ್ದು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಹೌದು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್, ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಲಿಯದೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಫುಲ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ.
ನಿಜ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಎರಡು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಬೆಟರ್. ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡೋದು, ನೀವು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಇದೇ ತರನೇ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಒಳಗಡೆ, ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಸುಭಾಷಿತ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ನಾಟಕ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅದು ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಇವಾಗ ಯಾರು ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತವನ್ನು ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಅವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಈಸಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಓದೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಕೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋರಿಗೆ ಅವಾಗ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎರಡು ರೀತಿ ಫೀಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎರಡು ರೀತಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕುಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಟಫ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವರು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಎರಡು ರೀತಿ ಓಪನ್ಗಳು ಬರೋ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೆಟರ್ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಭಾಷೆ ಬೆಳೆಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಎರಡು ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಆರ್ ಬ್ರಿಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಎ ನ್ಯೂ ಕರಿಕ್ಯುಲಮ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಇಟ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಅದೊಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ರೈಟ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಅಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಲಿಪ್ರಿ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ಸ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕಾನಮಿ ಯಾವ ಮಟ್ಟದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಂತರ ಇದ್ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ನೀವು ಅಂತ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತಾನು ಸೆಂಡ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದಿ ಅಪ್ರೂವಲ್, ದೆನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡು ಇಟ್, ದೇರ್ ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದ್ ಬಾರಿ ನಾವು ಅಪ್ರೂವಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ 2 years ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ BS ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದೇ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ 2 years ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ರನ್ ಆಗ್ಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
2 years ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, 2 years ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು NEP ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ರನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ
ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು, ಖಂಡಿತ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಭಿನಂದನ್ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಗುರುಗಳೇ, ಈಗ ನಾನು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಭಿನಂದನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಗುರುಗಳೇ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನೀವೊಂದ್ ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ, ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಮದ್ವೆ ಆದವರಿಗೆ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ರೂಮ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಈಗ ಅದೇ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮದುವೆ 2006 ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. 2 ಅವಳಿ ಜೋಳಿ ಮಕ್ಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಒಂದು ಜೂನಿಯರ್, ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷ ಮಗು ಇದೆ. ಜೋಳಿ ಮಕ್ಳು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಯರ್ ಮಕ್ಳು 2 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್, ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸೇಷನ್, ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್, ಫಿನಾನ್ಸ್. ಅವ್ರ ಅವಳಿ ಜೋಳಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳು. ಒಂದು ಜೂನಿಯರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು 1 ವರ್ಷ ಚಿಕ್ಕವರು, ಅವ್ರ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ MCom. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಡೀ 3 ಜನಕ್ಕೂ ಒಂದೇ ರೂಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಈಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ NEP ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫೈಡ್. The classes become diversified and course will be also diversified. Especially after 3 years ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ the dropout will be more. 4th year ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ ಇದೆ. Then 5th year ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಅದು ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಓರಿಯೆಂಟೆಡ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮ್ದು PG ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಲ್ಲದೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಮರ್ಸ್ PG ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಇನ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಟು ಅದರ್ PG ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್. PC ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಬಯೋಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸೀಟ್ ಬೇಗ ಫೀಲ್ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ದು ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ದು ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು 2006 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿ ಇವತ್ತಿಗೆ 2022 3 ಜನ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಇನ್ ದ PG. ಸೊ 2 ಅವಳಿ ಜೋಳಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಫೈನಲ್ ಇಯರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮ್. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಜಯರಾಜ್ ಸರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಭೇಟಿಯ ಮಾತಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಸರ್. ಈಗ 50 years ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೆಲೆಬ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 50 years ನಾವು phased manner, if you start investing on infrastructure, I think our college will be well recognized, surroundings, and it will be good competition. So teaching wise, we have a good sir, PG as well as UG, we have a good teaching facility. But the problem we are not able to attract andre because of one of the main reason is infrastructure. So ಈಗ PG botany ಒಂದು ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ. That is another feather to our college. But the problem is, where is the classroom? So it is a real concern, sir. I think though NEP ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರುವಾಗ, but this is also a real concern because too many options, too many open electives. We don't have a classroom to make them to sit. We're making them to run around one place to other place and occupying wherever possible. And we don't have a place to sit in corridor to teach also. That is one of the biggest challenges.
Yes, in fact, for that I can suggest one thing. There are 2 ways we can tackle this. One is a short-term solution and a long-term solution. Long-term solution ಗೆ ಆಗಲೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬೇರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ದೊಡ್ಡದು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ PG ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು UG ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಕುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದು ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ಸ್? One of the ideas, I mean, I don't say this is the best idea, working in shifts. In fact, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ನಮಗೂ ಜಾಗ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವಾಗ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಆರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಹೇಗೋ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ನಡುವೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ವಿ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬಿ ದೇರ್ ಎಟ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್. ಸಮ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ರೂಮ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಾಗ ವಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ರೂಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಸಚ್ ಎ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾ. 18 ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಲ್ಲೇಶ್ವರದಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕಟ್ಟೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಇರೋ ಜಾಗವನ್ನ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಬಳಸಬೇಕು, ಇದ್ರ ಹೊಸ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಅದರ್ ಡೇಸ್, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ನೂನ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಆರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಡಿಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಹೌ ಯು. ಒಂದು ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಐ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್, ಒಂದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೆಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಸಚ್ ಎ ವೇ ದಟ್ ಇನಫ್ ಅಕಾಮಡೇಷನ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಮೇಡ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ವರ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ಸ್. If all of us come at the same time and go at the same time, it is nice to be there together, but the building is not adequate. Existing building is one of the options. In fact, I have not sat together to see actually how many rooms are there. Next time, bandaga na principal hatra kutkondo, we'll all sit together, actually work out how many rooms are there, how many sections are there. Can we work in shifts for some time? Mandidre 2 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ we can, same rooms can be utilized. ಹಾಗಾಗ್ಬೋದೇನೋ ಅಂತ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ನನಗದು ಐ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಗಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಪಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಟು ಮಿ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ದಟ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನ್.
Thank you, Guruvale. I think
thank you.
One more thing, Guruvale. I think we have a IAS team. IAS ಒಂದು they are coming for admission ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದ್ರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ they should do for both UG and PG, Guru, so that UG ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡಿ PG ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರೋ ತರ ಆಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು. Some courses will be required, some may not required it. The existing student might come and join the course. ನಮ್ದು specifically commerce ಅಲ್ಲಿ, it's not that we are incapable of doing it, but it's very much important we have to understand is it's challenging. We have so many courses surrounding. ಇಲ್ಲ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಇದೆ, MES ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಇದೆ, ಮಲ್ಲೇಶ್ವರಂ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಇದೆ, ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಇದೆ. So we have so much of competition. So we want them to assist for this one. If they are not doing for UG, we will do for ourselves.
ಎರಡಕ್ಕೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಎರಡು UG PG ಎರಡಕ್ಕೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
Yes, thank you, Guruvale.
Thank you, Principal Ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Sir, thank you so much.
First of all, my apologies. I could not reach on time because I was stuck on Hebbal flyover for almost about half an hour. I could not move. My apologies. I convey my apologies to all of you. Kindly pardon me for coming late. As a teacher, I should not come late, but I could not help it.
Dr. Nanda, you have any? Dr. Nanda?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here, ma'am.
Yeah. Shall we conclude, sir, with sir's permission, sir?
Yes. Please.
Shall we conclude, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
So I thank you very much for all your valuable suggestions. I think this was a very special evening for all of us in this institution, for having heard of you, not only as a man of vision, also as a man of motivation. Other than that, you have given very good suggestions. I think with this, our staff will work under the guidance of our beloved principal.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you all for this.
Thank
Principal,
you.
ma'am, I think we can
Mind you.
permit. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.